The Christmas gathering was supposed to be a celebration, a time when family came together to share warmth, laughter, and joy beneath twinkling lights and festive decorations. But as soon as Elena stepped into her cousin's house, she sensed the delicate balance of holiday cheer and underlying tension that often clung to their family occasions. The smell of pine and cinnamon filled the air, mingling with the hum of conversations, clinking glasses, and distant Christmas carols. Yet beneath the surface, Elena could feel the unspoken undercurrents. The subtle glances, the clipped words, the invisible lines dividing relatives into uneasy camps. The house was bustling with relatives from corners near and far, some embracing each other with genuine warmth, others engaged in polite but guarded exchanges. Elena's heart ached with a familiar mix of hope and hesitation as she navigated the crowded rooms. She was no stranger to family complexities. Past gatherings had often been fraught with rivalry, misunderstandings, and old wounds that the holidays seemed to both reveal and deepen rather than heal. Elena's cousin Max was already there, surrounded by a cluster of relatives engaged in lively, sometimes biting banter. Max's sharp wit and confident demeanor often commanded attention, but beneath his humor lay a streak of cruelty that Elena knew all too well. His barbed remarks had a way of cutting through the festive atmosphere, unmasking hidden resentments and fragile egos. Elena glanced his way, sensing that this Christmas might hold its own share of discomfort. The dining room was decked out in red and gold, a sparkling centerpiece anchoring the long table crowded with dishes, roasts glazed with honey, bowls overflowing with mashed potatoes, and platters of vibrant vegetables. Laughter echoed off the walls, punctuated by polite toasts and the occasional clinking of glasses. Yet Elena felt an invisible barrier separating her from the easy camaraderie enjoyed by others. Conversations seemed to flow around her, leaving her on the periphery, an outsider in her own family's celebration. She caught herself reaching for the small ornament her grandmother had given her as a child, a delicate snowflake etched in silver that still hung from the strap of her purse. It was a precious reminder of love and belonging, grounding her amid the swirling emotions. She reminded herself of the reasons she'd come: to reconnect, to reclaim moments of joy, and to create new memories despite the familiar challenges. As the meal progressed, smiles masked unspoken tensions. Elena noticed subtle exchanges, a raised eyebrow here, a sarcastic quip there, that hinted at battles fought long ago but still alive in the undercurrents. The family's history was woven into every word and glance, a tapestry of love intertwined with rivalry, loyalty tempered by jealousy. Elena found herself seated near Max, acutely aware of his gaze and the murmur of voices that seemed to encircle her. The warmth of the meal did little to thaw the chill of exclusion that crept in. She sensed that this Christmas would bring more than festive cheer. It held the potential for pain, confrontation, or unexpected revelations. She watched children playing nearby, their laughter a bittersweet reminder of innocence free from the burdens she and her family carried. For a moment, Elena allowed herself to imagine a different kind of Christmas, a gathering where love was unshadowed by conflict, where acceptance was given freely and without condition. But reality settled back like a weight. The holiday table was shared, yet the emotional distance between her and some family members felt vast. Elena knew she would have to navigate this delicate dance, balancing hope with caution, smiling through hurt, and finding strength in the face of old wounds. The anticipation built as the evening wore on. Gifts were exchanged, songs were sung, and traditional prayers offered moments of unity. Yet in the midst of rituals, Elena prepared herself for the inevitable: Max's sharp tongue and the mockery that often came disguised as jest. She steeled herself to endure, yet beneath her calm exterior, a quiet fire flickered, a determination not to be diminished or defined by others' attempts to belittle. This Christmas gathering was not just about celebration. It was a test of resilience, of love mingled with pain, and the enduring hope that family, no matter how fractured, could find moments of connection even in the most unlikely circumstances. For Elena, the night held a complex promise, a journey through hurt and healing, where the gifts given and received might reshape bonds and rewrite stories long held in shadow. As the clock ticked toward the pivotal moment, Elena braced herself for what lay ahead, ready to face the challenges with grace and courage, holding to the hope that this Christmas might reveal a deeper meaning, a hidden blessing wrapped within the awkwardness and tension of family ties. The stage was set for a night that would change everything, starting with a simple box and a mocking voice. The opening notes of a story about legacy, love, and unexpected treasures hidden where no one thought to look. The air in the room was thick with the cheerful chaos typical of a big family Christmas gathering. Voices overlapping, laughter bubbling, and holiday music softly playing in the background. Despite the merriment, Elena was keenly aware of the subtle currents of rivalry and tension that often surfaced when the family came together. She moved carefully through the crowd, hoping her presence would be met with warmth, but familiar unease lingered beneath polite smiles. As dinner drew to a close and the mom ends of gift exchange loomed, Elena found herself seated near her cousin Max, an ever-charming yet sharp-tongued figure whose wit often danced dangerously close to cruelty. Max had a knack for cutting remarks veiled as jokes, and tonight was no exception. With a sly smile that held a hint of malice, Max glanced at the modest plate before Elena, a simple portion of leftovers carefully packed into a take-home box. Raising his voice just enough for those at the table to hear, he quipped with a tone dripping sarcasm, "Well, Elena, looks like you're getting the leftovers tonight." The room silenced momentarily as heads turned toward Elena, their eyes flicking between her and Max. The words, though delivered lightly, landed like a sharp sting. A wave of embarrassment flushed through Elena's cheeks as the familiar feeling of being singled out and diminished washed over her. Max's jest was no casual barb. It was a pointed reminder of her place in the family hierarchy, a subtle exclusion framed as humor. Laughter erupted from some corners of the room, but Elena could hear beneath the surface a mix of sympathy, discomfort, and thinly veiled amusement. The cruel joke was a reminder of long-standing family dynamics where Max often wielded his charisma to assert dominance, leaving others, especially Elena, to bear the brunt of his barbs. The remark pulled at wounds that had never fully healed, memories of past gatherings where Elena's contributions and presence seemed minimized, her worth questioned or overlooked. Max's words magnified the old feelings of invisibility and rejection, making the festive atmosphere feel suddenly cold and isolating. Despite the sting, Elena straightened her shoulders and met Max's gaze evenly, refusing to let the comment shrink her spirit. Inside, however, she wrestled with the pain. How often had family members dismissed her efforts, belittled her contributions, or cast her aside? The words echoed loudly in her mind, carrying the heavy weight of accumulated disappointments. Around the table, conversations resumed, but Elena felt a quiet shift, an uneasy distance as the comment lingered in the air. Max's mockery had drawn invisible lines, reinforcing divisions even as the family celebrated. Elena's heart ached with the knowledge that the holiday, meant for unity and joy, was marked once again by undercurrents of rivalry and exclusion. Yet, amid the embarrassment and hurt, a seed of defiance took root. Elena resolved not to be defined or diminished by Max's sharp tongue. The mocking words, intended to wound, only strengthened her inner resolve to claim her rightful place in the family's story, one not dictated by others' judgments but by her own dignity and worth. In that moment, Elena understood that family gatherings were battlegrounds for power and acceptance, where words could heal or harm in equal measure. Max's mockery was a test, a challenge to her spirit that she was determined to meet with grace and strength. As the evening edged forward, Elena's thoughts lingered on the sting of the comment, but also on the possibilities that lay ahead, possibilities wrapped in unexpected gifts and revelations that might turn the tide and change the narrative. The mocking voice was only the beginning of a story that would unfold with surprising depth, redefining family bonds and the true meaning of inheritance and love. The sting of Max's mocking words echoed sharply in Elena's mind, coloring the festive atmosphere with a bitter shade of disappointment and frustration. As laughter rippled around the table, oblivious to the emotional weight carried quietly by those it touched, Elena found herself grappling with a kaleidoscope of feelings: hurt, embarrassment, resentment, and a profound sense of invisibility that seemed to shadow her every family gathering. She sat quietly, the leftovers box resting heavily on her lap, not just in a physical sense but as a symbol of the way she often felt overlooked and undervalued within her family's intricate dynamics. The insult wasn't merely about a meal. It was a reflection of patterns she had sensed for years: subtle marginalization, dismissive attitudes, and unspoken judgments that had chipped away at her confidence over time. Elena's mind wandered back to past Christmases and family occasions where similar moments of exclusion had carved small but persistent wounds in her heart. She recalled times when her ideas were brushed aside in conversations, or when her presence seemed to fade into the background as others dominated the room. The familiar ache of being unseen mingled with the fresh sting of tonight's public slight. Despite the swelling tide of hurt, Elena fought to keep a composed exterior, aware that reacting openly might feed the very tensions she wished to rise above. Her emotions, however, churned beneath the surface, an undercurrent of frustration at the seemingly endless cycle of being cast as the family's overlooked member, coupled with a longing for recognition and respect that felt just out of reach. She questioned herself silently. Was this how her family truly saw her? A person to be mocked, sidelined, and given only the remnants? The thought was painful, but also fuel for a growing resolve not to allow these perceptions to define her worth. Elena wrestled with the desire to confront the hurt, to demand acknowledgement, and the fear that such confrontation might only worsen already fragile relations. The embarrassment of Max's public jab was compounded by a creeping sense of isolation. While the room buzzed with joviality, Elena felt increasingly alone, her attempt to belong feeling like a fragile thread strained to its breaking point. It was a moment where holiday joy and family warmth seemed distant, replaced by the cold reality of alienation. Yet, within this emotional turbulence flickered small flames of self-awareness and strength. Elena recognized this moment as a crossroads, a chance to face long-suppressed feelings and to reclaim her voice within the family narrative. The frustration became a catalyst, igniting a quiet determination to change how she was seen and how she saw herself. She found herself clutching the small keepsake from her grandmother, a cherished trinket passed down as a symbol of love and endurance. This tangible connection to her heritage grounded her, reminding her that her identity and value were anchored in more than family judgments. It was a lifeline that sparked hope amidst the pain. As the evening proceeded, Elena remained mindful of her emotions, choosing resilience over resignation. The disappointment she felt was real and raw, but it also became a source of clarity, a moment to acknowledge past sorrows while envisioning a future where her worth might be recognized in deeper, more meaningful ways. In this crucible of hurt and hope, Elena prepared herself for what was to come. The mocking leftovers comment was not the conclusion, but rather the opening of a chapter filled with unexpected gifts, family revelations, and the complex journey toward acceptance and healing. It was a reminder that even amid neglect, the seeds of transformation could take root, nurtured by courage, love, and the unyielding desire for belonging. As the laughter and chatter around the table began to swell again, Elena found herself handed a box filled with what was presumably the leftovers Max had mockingly referenced. The box was plain, no decorations, nothing to indicate that it was anything but the remains of the family meal. She accepted it with a hesitant smile, the weight of the moment pressing quietly upon her. To the others, it was simply the evening's uneaten food, packaged for convenience or necessity. To Elena, however, it felt symbolic, a subtle reminder of her place at the periphery of the family's affections and attention. She held the box carefully, almost reverently, as if also carrying the invisible burdens it represented. The gesture, though practical, felt like a slight, an embodiment of exclusion wrapped in the guise of generosity. With the sounds of celebration surrounding her, Elena experienced a quiet frustration mixed with resignation, wondering how this simple package could carry so much meaning. Finding a secluded spot away from the crowd, Elena opened the box with tentative fingers. Her heart pounded with a strange mixture of anticipation and apprehension. The scent of the food within was mundane, meat sliced and mashed potatoes tucked in neatly, but as she lifted a carefully wrapped bundle from the box, something unexpected caught her eye. Within the folds of the familiar leftovers, nestled carefully, lay an ornate jewelry box, small, delicate, and out of place amid the ordinary food containers. Confusion flickered across Elena's face as she reached for the box, her fingers trembling slightly. What could this be? Why was it hidden here, beneath scraps of the night's meal? With growing curiosity and heartbeats quickening, she carefully opened the jewelry box to reveal a gleaming heirloom inside, her grandmother's ring. Its gold glistened under the dim light, the intricate design telling stories of generations past. The ring was more than a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of family legacy, enduring love, and unbroken bonds. The surprise was profound, displacing the sting of mockery with a surge of emotion. The ring, a treasured relic handed down through the family, carried weight beyond its physical form, representing memories, sacrifices, and the strength of women who had come before. To find it tucked inside a box labeled leftovers was at once shocking and deeply meaningful, a reminder that worth and love can hide in the most unexpected places. Elena's fingers caressed the ring with awe and tenderness, her thoughts swirling with memories of her grandmother, her wisdom, kindness, and the quiet way she had held the family together. This unexpected gift felt like a bridge to the past, a tangible connection that transcended hurt and doubt. The moment transformed the meaning of the leftovers entirely. What had begun as a gesture of exclusion now felt like an act of inheritance, acceptance, and profound recognition. The symbolism was not lost on Elena. This ring was a message, a silent declaration that despite woes and mockeries, she was part of the family's living history. As she held the heirloom close, emotions welled up: gratitude, sorrow, hope, and an overwhelming sense of responsibility. The ring was not only a treasure to be worn but a legacy to honor and uphold, a charge to carry forward the love and resilience embodied by her grandmother. In this quiet, private moment, Elena felt a shift within herself. The box of leftovers had transformed from a symbol of dismissal into a vessel of belonging and promise. It was a reminder that family ties, though sometimes strained and painful, were resilient and capable of renewal. The discovery set the stage for the unfolding story, a journey of reconciliation, self-discovery, and the reclaiming of identity amidst complex family dynamics. It was a testament to the unexpected gifts life can offer, hidden amidst pain and mockery, waiting to be uncovered and embraced with courage and love. The moment Elena uncovered the delicate jewelry box hidden among the leftovers, a surge of disbelief and wonder washed over her. She had come to the family Christmas dinner bracing herself for indifference, maybe even mockery, but nothing had prepared her for this profound and unexpected discovery. The hanging tension in the room, the whispered jabs and silenced corners, momentarily fell away as she opened the box with reverence. Inside lay her grandmother's ring, a precious heirloom passed down through the generations, shimmering softly in the dim glow of the holiday lights. Its gold band was engraved with intricate designs, a testament to the craftsmanship of another era, and the stone set within held a timeless sparkle that seemed to capture the very essence of her grandmother's spirit. To Elena, this was no mere piece of jewelry. It was a tangible connection to a woman whose strength, wisdom, and love had shaped the family's history. The surprise stopped Elena's breath. The very idea that this cherished symbol of family legacy was concealed among the leftovers, an afterthought in the eyes of many, was both astonishing and deeply moving. It was a gesture that held hidden layers of meaning. Was it a quiet apology wrapped in symbolism? A hope, buried beneath mockery, that Elena might recognize her rightful place in the chain of inheritance? With trembling hands, she lifted the ring, feeling the cool metal and the smooth weight of its significance. Memories flooded her mind. The grandmother who had patiently guided her through childhood, whose laughter had filled rooms with warmth, whose unwavering love had been a refuge in moments of doubt. The ring was a treasure trove of stories and legacy, bringing with it the echoes of generations who had worn it with pride and responsibility. Elena's heart swelled with a mixture of emotions: gratitude for receiving a gift so profound and intimate, awe at the weight of tradition resting now in her hands, sadness for the complicated dynamics that had led to this moment being cloaked in an air of mockery and silence. The ring was a symbol not just of family wealth or status, but of enduring love, sacrifice, and belonging. She glanced around the room, searching for the eyes of those who had witnessed the exchange, wondering about their intentions and feelings. Some faces held surprise. Others subtly avoided meeting her gaze. The discovery had shifted the atmosphere, inviting new questions and reflections about legacy, generosity, and respect. This moment marked a profound turning point in Elena's journey. The ring was more than an object. It was an invitation, an embrace from the past offering connection, hope, and the possibility of healing old wounds. It challenged her to reconsider what family meant, what inheritance truly was, and how history lived within each of them. In that instant, Elena felt a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. The heirloom was a bridge between grief and gratitude, exclusion and acceptance, mocking words and heartfelt gestures. It was a call to honor the past while forging her own path forward, carrying the legacy of her grandmother with pride and grace. As she held the ring close, the meaning of leftovers was transformed forever. This discovery was the heart of the story, an unexpected gift that would unravel old wounds and weave new threads of connection, love, and strength through the tapestry of family. It was the beginning of a deeper exploration of identity, inheritance, and the power of unexpected treasures to redefine relationships and heal hearts. The sight of her grandmother's ring in Elena's hands stirred a whirlpool of memories, emotions, and reflections that spanned generations. The heirloom was far more than a delicate piece of jewelry. It was a vessel filled with stories, traditions, and the palpable legacy of a woman who had embodied strength, love, and resilience for the family. As Elena held the ring, she found herself transported back to moments that defined her grandmother's life and her own sense of belonging. Elena remembered the grandmother's warm smile, the way her eyes crinkled with kindness, and her hands that had always seemed full of gentle wisdom. She recalled the stories her grandmother told, tales woven with lessons about family unity, perseverance through hardship, and the importance of maintaining a lineage rooted in love and respect. Every crease and jewel on the ring seemed to carry the weight of these shared histories. The memories that surfaced were a tapestry of laughter and tears, celebrations and quiet sacrifices. Elena thought about the grandmother's role as the family matriarch, the steady presence who kept the family together through turbulent times. The ring had been a symbol of her leadership and devotion, something she wore proudly, passing it down not only as an object but as a charge to uphold family values and traditions. Elena felt the depth of this legacy settle within her, a poignant reminder that she was part of a long lineage of women whose lives and loves had shaped the family's present. The ring represented continuity, a link that bound past to present and future, a tangible connection across time that gave Elena a sense of identity beyond the immediate complexities of family dynamics. The heirloom carried more than sentimental value. It was a symbol of endurance and hope, a beacon of the qualities that Elena admired most in her grandmother: strength in adversity, generosity of spirit, and unwavering commitment to family. These were the traits embedded within the ring, their shine unblemished by the years or the challenges the family had faced. Elena's thoughts also turned to the deeper meaning of inheriting such a treasure. It was a responsibility as much as a gift, a call to honor the grandmother's memory by embodying the same courage, compassion, and grace. Wearing the ring symbolized carrying forward a legacy of love and resilience amidst whatever trials lay ahead. This memory-rich moment broadened Elena's understanding of family beyond the frustrations and conflicts of the present day. It reminded her that family legacy is carried not only in bloodlines or possessions, but in the values passed from generation to generation. The quiet, powerful traditions that hold people together even when life's storms threaten to pull them apart. The ring's presence also softened some of the bitterness Elena had felt earlier in the evening. It brought perspective, showing her that despite momentary slights and tensions, there existed a deeper, abiding connection that transcended current disputes. This legacy was a foundation upon which healing and growth could be built. The experience sparked in Elena a renewed commitment to her family and herself, to embrace the past with gratitude, to navigate the present with courage, and to nurture a future where love and understanding could flourish. The memories invoked by the ring handed her a gentle strength, a reminder that she was never truly alone. In this moment, the grandmother's legacy was no longer distant or abstract. It lived tangibly in Elena's hands, heart, and spirit. It was an inheritance of enduring love, a beacon lighting her path forward, and an anchor grounding her through the waves of family complexities and personal evolution alike. The ring was a symbol that legacy is not simply inherited but embraced, cultivated, and passed on, just as Elena now intended to do. The sight of her grandmother's ring in Elena's hands stirred a whirlpool of memories, emotions, and reflections that spanned generations. The heirloom was far more than a delicate piece of jewelry. It was a vessel filled with stories, traditions, and the palpable legacy of a woman who had embodied strength, love, and resilience for the family. As Elena held the ring, she found herself transported back to moments that defined her grandmother's life and her own sense of belonging. Elena remembered the grandmother's warm smile, the way her eyes crinkled with kindness, and her hands that had always seemed full of gentle wisdom. She recalled the stories her grandmother told, tales woven with lessons about family unity, perseverance through hardship, and the importance of maintaining a lineage rooted in love and respect. Every crease and jewel on the ring seemed to carry the weight of these shared histories. The memories that surfaced were a tapestry of laughter and tears, celebrations and quiet sacrifices. Elena thought about the grandmother's role as the family matriarch, the steady presence who kept the family together through turbulent times. The ring had been a symbol of her leadership and devotion, something she wore proudly, passing it down not only as an object but as a charge to uphold family values and traditions. Elena felt the depth of this legacy settle within her, a poignant reminder that she was part of a long lineage of women whose lives and loves had shaped the family's present. The ring represented continuity, a link that bound past to present and future, a tangible connection across time that gave Elena a sense of identity beyond the immediate complexities of family dynamics. The heirloom carried more than sentimental value. It was a symbol of endurance and hope, a beacon of the qualities that Elena admired most in her grandmother: strength in adversity, generosity of spirit, and unwavering commitment to family. These were the traits embedded within the ring, their shine unblemished by the years or the challenges the family had faced. Elena's thoughts also turned to the deeper meaning of inheriting such a treasure. It was a responsibility as much as a gift, a call to honor the grandmother's memory by embodying the same courage, compassion, and grace. Wearing the ring symbolized carrying forward a legacy of love and resilience amidst whatever trials lay ahead. This memory-rich moment broadened Elena's understanding of family beyond the frustrations and conflicts of the present day. It reminded her that family legacy is carried not only in bloodlines or possessions, but in the values passed from generation to generation. The quiet, powerful traditions that hold people together even when life's storms threaten to pull them apart. The ring's presence also softened some of the bitterness Elena had felt earlier in the evening. It brought perspective, showing her that despite momentary slights and tensions, there existed a deeper, abiding connection that transcended current disputes. This legacy was a foundation upon which healing and growth could be built. The experience sparked in Elena a renewed commitment to her family and herself, to embrace the past with gratitude, to navigate the present with courage, and to nurture a future where love and understanding could flourish. The memories invoked by the ring handed her a gentle strength, a reminder that she was never truly alone. In this moment, the grandmother's legacy was no longer distant or abstract. It lived tangibly in Elena's hands, heart, and spirit. It was an inheritance of enduring love, a beacon lighting her path forward, and an anchor grounding her through the waves of family complexities and personal evolution alike. The ring was a symbol that legacy is not simply inherited but embraced, cultivated, and passed on, just as Elena now intended to do. The sight of her grandmother's ring in Elena's hands stirred a whirlpool of memories, emotions, and reflections that spanned generations. The heirloom was far more than a delicate piece of jewelry. It was a vessel filled with stories, traditions, and the palpable legacy of a woman who had embodied strength, love, and resilience for the family. As Elena held the ring, she found herself transported back to moments that defined her grandmother's life and her own sense of belonging. Elena remembered her grandmother's warm smile, the way her eyes crinkled with kindness, and the gentle wisdom in her every word. She recalled stories told around fires and on quiet evenings, tales woven with lessons about family unity, perseverance, and the importance of honoring heritage. Every curve and engraving on the ring seemed to carry the weight of those stories, binding past generations to the present. The memories were a tapestry of laughter and tears, celebrations and sacrifices. Her grandmother had been the family matriarch, a steadfast presence through times both joyous and difficult. The ring was more than an ornament. It had been a symbol of that strength and devotion, passed down not only as a token but as a charge to uphold family values and traditions. Holding the ring, Elena felt the deep roots of this legacy anchor within her, a reminder that she was part of an enduring lineage. This heirloom was continuity, linking past, present, and future, a tangible piece of history grounding her amid the complexities of family dynamics and her own identity. Beyond its sentimental value, the ring stood for resilience, hope, and love, the very qualities Elena admired in her grandmother. It represented not only heritage but the enduring spirit that had carried her family through hardship, a light to guide her own path forward. Inheriting the ring was more than receiving a gift. It was accepting a responsibility and an invitation to embody the courage, grace, and compassion her grandmother had shown. It was a call to carry forward not just the artifact but the legacy of love and strength that it symbolized. This moment broadened Elena's understanding of family inheritance, not as mere possession, but as the passing on of values and stories that hold a family together when storms arise. The ring softened the bitterness she had felt earlier, reminding her that connection and belonging run deeper than current disputes. With the ring in hand and her heart stirred by memory, Elena embraced a renewed commitment to family and self, grateful for the past, courageous in the present, and hopeful for the future. The legacy was no longer distant. It was alive in her hands and spirit, guiding her toward healing and growth. This heirloom became a beacon of identity, resilience, and love, a cherished link between generations and a foundation upon which Elena could build her own story, one of reconciliation, strength, and enduring family bonds. The discovery of the ring in the box of leftovers stirred a complex swirl of emotions within Elena. The initial shock and awe gave way to a deep inner turmoil as she grappled with the conflicting feelings coursing through her. Gratitude and pride mingled with confusion, and a renewed awareness of the fractured family dynamics that had shaped her life. Elena's heart was heavy as she considered the moment's layered meanings. To receive her grandmother's cherished ring was an honor and a profound connection to her heritage. Yet the way it was gifted, hidden beneath leftovers, presented after a mocking comment, added a bitter edge to the experience. It was a symbol of love wrapped in the complexities of family tension, reminding her that acceptance and affection were often entangled with pain and misunderstanding. Her thoughts circled around the past, the silent exclusions, the whispered judgments, the moments when family affection had felt conditional or fleeting. The ring's presence illuminated these wounds, casting shadows even as it offered light. Elena found herself questioning the intentions behind the gesture. Was it an attempt at reconciliation masked by awkwardness? A subtle apology or a reminder of her place within a hierarchically divided family? Mixed with her gratitude was frustration and a guarded skepticism. Elena had long yearned for genuine acceptance and respect, not just symbolic gestures or heirloom tokens. The ring's unexpected arrival forced her to confront the paradox of feeling both honored and marginalized, a powerful reminder that family love can be both healing and complicated. Yet amidst the emotional conflict, a spark of hope and empowerment began to take root. The ring was a beacon of legacy, a tangible sign that despite past slights and present challenges, she was recognized as part of the family's continuing story. It called her to embrace her identity and to claim her place with pride and strength. Elena's conflicted emotions were mirrored in the subtle shifts in the room around her. Some relatives exchanged furtive glances, unsure how to react to the unfolding revelation. Others watched with a mixture of curiosity and sympathy, sensing the fragile yet profound shift occurring. The dynamics within the family were both exposed and transformed in this charged moment. Internally, Elena wrestled with the complexity of love within family, a love that could wound as deeply as it could heal. This gift became a catalyst for reflection on forgiveness, boundaries, and the difficult dance of navigating relationships fraught with history and hidden grievances. Her heart, though heavy, softened with understanding. She realized that healing within her family would require patience, courage, and an openness to imperfection. The ring was a step, not a conclusion, but an invitation to move beyond past hurts and toward a more authentic connection. In that delicate balance of emotions, Elena found a renewed sense of agency. She chose to hold the ring not as a relic of past pains, but as a symbol of her own strength and resilience. It was a reminder that her story was still being written, that she could shape the narrative of family love on her own terms. This emotional complexity added depth and nuance to Elena's journey. The ring, once a simple token, became a mirror reflecting the multifaceted nature of family bonds, filled with love, conflict, hope, and the enduring promise of reconciliation and growth. As the evening continued, Elena carried these mixed feelings with her, a blend of gratitude and guarded optimism, pain and possibility. The heirloom's significance transcended the moment, becoming a lifelong call to embrace the complexities of love and family, to seek healing amid hurt, and to forge a path toward belonging that was honest, courageous, and deeply fulfilling. The significance of inheriting her grandmother's ring began to settle deeply within Elena, transforming her understanding of family, legacy, and acceptance. This precious heirloom became a powerful symbol of not only the love that bound generations together, but also the complex dynamics that shaped their relationships. A vivid reminder that family ties are often woven with both light and shadow. The ring represented a profound acceptance, a tacit acknowledgement of Elena's rightful place within the family lineage. It was a gift that transcended material value, embodying trust, respect, and the continuation of shared history. Wearing it meant carrying forward a legacy, a commitment to uphold the values and memories entrusted to her by the women who came before. This gift also shifted Elena's perspective on her place within the family. The earlier feelings of exclusion and mockery began to soften under the weight of this tangible connection to ancestry and belonging. The heirloom was an affirmation, an intimate, unspoken declaration that despite past tensions and ongoing struggles, she was part of something enduring and meaningful. Elena pondered the deeper implications of the ring. It was more than an object of beauty. It was a call to responsibility, a reminder to nurture and protect the family bonds that could easily fray. This legacy came with the power to inspire healing and renewal, transforming old wounds into opportunities for connection and growth. The ring's presence prompted a profound internal shift. Elena felt empowered to embrace her identity as a carrier of this lineage, and with it, the courage to seek reconciliation, understanding, and peace within her family. It invited her to redefine what inheritance meant, not solely material wealth or status, but the intangible gifts of love, memory, and shared resilience. This newfound understanding rippled beyond Elena herself. It began to influence the family dynamics subtly, encouraging others to reflect on their own roles and relationships. The ring became a catalyst for conversations about forgiveness, respect, and the importance of honoring each member's place in the family story. Elena also recognized that the ring was a bridge between past and future, a symbol tying generations together while pointing toward the legacy she would one day pass on. It filled her with a sense of purpose, urging her to live with integrity, compassion, and a commitment to family unity. Within this transformation lay a hopeful message, that acceptance and belonging are complex and sometimes elusive, but always worth striving for. The ring gave Elena a renewed sense of confidence, an invitation to claim her place and to foster a deeper, more loving family connection. This gift inspired Elena to look beyond the immediate challenges and pains, envisioning a future where love could flourish despite imperfections. It was a testament to the resilience of family, the enduring power of ties that bind, even when tested by time and circumstance. In embracing the ring's meaning, Elena stepped forward into a new chapter of her life, one defined not by past wounds but by hope, strength, and the transformative power of acceptance. The heirloom was no longer just a relic of her grandmother, but a living symbol of Elena's own journey toward belonging, reconciliation, and the celebration of family legacy in all its complexity. In the days and weeks following the unexpected reveal of her grandmother's ring during what had seemed like an ordinary Christmas gathering, Elena found herself at the cusp of a profound transformation, both within herself and within the fabric of her family. This final chapter in the story was not just a closing moment but a new beginning, marked by healing, growth, and a rekindled sense of belonging. For Elena, the ring had become a powerful talisman, a symbol of legacy, love, and resilience that she carried not just on her finger but in her heart. It reminded her daily of where she came from and who she was meant to be, a keeper of family stories and traditions, a bearer of strength and grace vibrant with the wisdom of generations past. The gift sparked in her a renewed confidence and a deepened sense of identity. No longer overshadowed by the mockery or doubts that had once clouded her place within the family, Elena stepped forward with pride and purpose. She embraced the role her grandmother's legacy bestowed upon her, not as a burden but as a source of empowerment and connection. Within the family circle, the presence of the heirloom became a catalyst for change. Elena's acceptance of the ring inspired others to reconsider their own relationships, inspiring empathy, openness, and the courage to confront past grievances. What once seemed like fractured, distant ties began to mend with shared understanding and active compassion. Future family gatherings took on new meaning. They became occasions not just for routine celebration but for genuine connection, filled with attentiveness, generosity, and a conscious effort to honor each member's worth. The memories of exclusion and neglect gave way to rituals that celebrated belonging and inclusion, fostering an environment where every story was heard and every voice valued. Elena's journey was also one of personal healing. Through embracing her heritage and her place within the family's unfolding story, she found peace with past hurts and hope for the future. The symbolic gift of the ring taught her that love and acceptance are complex, sometimes imperfect, but always worth pursuing with courage and grace. This final chapter stood as a testament to the enduring power of family, a network of relationships rooted in history and nurtured in the present, capable of growth, reconciliation, and renewal. The ring, once hidden among leftovers, had illuminated a path from exclusion to acceptance, transforming pain into promise. Elena's story echoed a universal truth, that even through moments of hurt and misunderstanding, the possibility of healing and connection remains alive. It proved that legacies are not only inherited objects but are also lived experiences, woven through acts of forgiveness, courage, and love. With the ring as her guiding light, Elena embraced her role as a bridge between past and future, carrying forward the legacy of strength and compassion she had received. Her journey illuminated the way for others in her family to follow, a journey defined by resilience, hope, and the unbreakable bonds of kinship. In the gentle closing of the story, Elena's heart held a quiet joy and deep gratitude. The forgotten gift had become a treasured symbol of renewal, reminding all that within the complexities of family lies the extraordinary power to heal, to grow, and to love more fully. This legacy, proudly worn and cherished, was her path forward, a living testament to the timeless strength of love that binds generations and lights the way toward a brighter, more connected future.